Hey guys, this is Vicki Ronchette with Show Dog Prep School. Today we're going to go over the ring patterns for AKC dog shows. This may be the same for other venues as well, but they're definitely the ones that you see in the AKC show ring. So I've created some graphics to help people understand and be able to get a good feel for what these patterns look like. So we're going to go through them together. So the first one is the down and back. So with the down and back, usually the judge is down here in the right-hand corner. And even though the dots are on the side, keep in mind you're going to move with the dog right in alignment with the judge. So you want the dog right here, well aligned with the judge. You're going to go straight out, you're going to turn around and come straight back to the judge. Now, whether or not you turn away or into the dog depends on the individual dog and perhaps how the dog is doing that day. If it's a dog that's really shows well and is out in front of me, I'm going to turn to the right because I want the dog to sort of collect himself and gaiter around and make this turn. If you're working with a dog who's maybe a little tired or pokey that day, or a really small dog, you may want to keep the dog on the inside and turn into the dog. I recommend that you make eye contact with the judge here. Just kind of look at the judge, make sure that you're heading in the right direction and you're right where you want to be. The next one that we're going to look at is the next most common one, and this is the diagonal. So in this pattern, it's the same exact thing, except instead of working straight out and back, you're doing it on the diagonal. Now, generally, you're going to go all the way across the ring. So if this orange box was the ring, you'd go all the way over there. But you're just going to go to the corner of the ring and back. Same thing, align the dog with the judge, head straight out, same rules apply. If the dog needs to collect himself and he's out in front of you and up, you might want to turn away. But if he's pokey or it's a little tiny dog, you might want to turn into the judge. Again, make eye contact, look at the judge before you head back so you're sure he's looking and you are headed in the right direction. And then you're going to come straight back. That's the diagonal. Next one we're going to look at is the triangle. And this is really common for a lot of breeds. So with the triangle, you're going to line the dog up with the judge, as always. You're going to head straight out. You're going to turn left. And then when you get over here to this corner end of the ring, you're going to turn left again and head straight back to the judge. Now, I would always recommend going straight out and just turning left. You don't have to make a loop or do anything fancy here. In fact, you kind of just want to keep the dog in that nice gait, going around there. Now here, if you think this turn is going to be hard for your dog, it's going to, knock your dog off his gait and get him bumping into you, then it is okay here to do a turn to your right before you head back to the judge. Again, always making sure before you head back to the judge that you look towards the judge, you make eye contact, and you make sure you're headed in the right direction. Next one we're going to look at. Now the next two are a little bit more complex in that they require you to actually switch the dog onto your other side. So this is an L. So you've got the judge here. You're going to align the dog up with the judge always, walk straight out. You're going to turn left. And when you get over here to this corner of the ring, you're going to switch the dog to your right and follow back along the same path that you came. So you're putting the dog on the right because you never want to have you in between the judge and the dog. You always want to have the dog in between the judge and you so the judge can see the dog. So that's why you have to get the dog on your right side here. Come over here. Now at this corner, you can switch the dog back to your left if you're comfortable with that leash wrangling, or you can just keep the dog on your right and finish out coming back to the judge there. So again, out, left, about turn, switch the dog to the right, right turn, back to the judge. That's the L. And the final pattern that we're going to look at is the T. Okay. So with the T, the judge is usually centered in the middle of the ring, and you're going to take your dog straight out on your left side as usual, turn left. Now when you get out here, you're going to do an about turn as you switch the dog to your right side. So again, here's the judge. The dog's going to be here, so you need to be out here. So out, left, switch the dog to your right side, move the dog across the back of the ring on your right side, about turn back the other way and switch the dog back to your left side. Follow your same path here, turn left, back to the judge. So whenever the judge can see your dog, the dog can be on the left. But if it requires you to turn and go in a direction like that, you have to get the dog on the side that the judge can see. You always want the dog in between you and the judge. So again, for the T, you're going to go up, turn left, do an about turn, switch the dog to your right, go all the way across, do an about turn, switch the dog back to your left, left turn, and then back to the judge. So those are the AKC ring patterns. You might think the last two look complicated, and they are rather complicated. So it's a good idea to just familiarize yourself with them because you never know when that's going to be asked of you. I have had judges ask for two dogs to be moved down and back together, and they want the dogs on the inside. So that means the dog's going to be on the right side of each person for at least a moment because, right, you're going to go out, and if you switch and come back, and if you're on that side, you'd have to switch the other way. So practice having your dog on your right side so the dog doesn't flip out. I mean, if we really condition them to be on the left side, they're not going to understand why you want them on the right side. So you want to practice that. And that's just a little helpful tip on how the AKC ring patterns work. Feel free to follow us on Facebook and on YouTube and see how we can help you. www.showdogprepschool.com. Thanks.